Why am I talking about 6 years ago? 6 years ago. Gee, that's when I hit the board. That's when I was being slammed in the Acton Town Council meeting about why I was so anti-charter. Because I knew, I'm not psychic. I don't pay for my street to be paved and have it done in San Bernardino. I'm a government servant. I know how taxpayer dollars are spent. We were under investigation by the state auditor. 3 schools were one of them. That doesn't make you a winner where I come from. It makes you a loser. It was just a matter of time before it shut down. That's why I said we need to reduce dependence on out-of-boundary charters because the money was going to dry up. Dead people were saying, it's not going to work, Ken. Was that a puzzle? Sorry, it was inappropriate. But then I said, hey, restore focus on local students. Why did I say that? Because when you're not earning your money, you don't care that much. Here, lay on the couch. You're 30 years old. You've run up $200,000 with student debt. I'll keep paying. I don't have kids like that because I tell them what's going on. So pay attention to your local kids. Then finally, here's the big one. Restore the reputation of this district in the greater educational marketplace. Why did I say that? Because everybody was suing us. Newhall is still sending us their little pamphlets. Come to our school. Why? Because it's our school. Okay, that's great. I like that. I'm going to drive all the way over there because you're still upset because your lawyer didn't take another $450,000 away from our kids. Yeah, when it's time to get in the trenches, yeah, I will see you in the trenches. I'll see you in the court trenches. That's where I'm good. But now we got AV College. We got everybody running. Here, let me help you. Let me help you. Because we're not rogue anymore. We don't have a bad reputation. And people want to enjoy our success. And in fact, in other schools, there are administrators saying, maybe you're not doing well here. Maybe you would do better over in Acton where it's a little bit quieter and it's not so important that you're, Mr. Football or anything like that. That's what's happening. So bash me. Go ahead. Yeah, the movies, I'm sorry, there's a narcissist population that begs me to make sure that they watch my movie and they see it's not all about you and it's not all about me, but if I'm tagging you on something and you come in here and announce it, I guess that makes me right. I don't know. Whatever you think, I don't care. When I came in here, I sat out in that audience and I'm stupid enough to come in here and fix it. They put me in the LA Times over what I did with charters. Look it up. Do they not have internet access at the library wherever these meetings are held where you bash me? Come on, there's a line to bash me. Get in it. It's very long, very long. There's 50,000 people. I don't know. Are you bashing me? If you're not, I wouldn't be talking.
Don't engage back and forth.
Good.
Call to order.
Good. Well, good, okay? If that's what you think, go tell everybody that.
Call to order, President.
Yeah, give me an order.
Okay, I'm on.
But the bottom line, no, I'm out of order. I apologize to you. I've got a comment for you that will apply specifically to you and your value to this community when I get to it. But don't expect somebody's going to come in here and bash me because I stood up and said, we need to earn our own money. Guess what happened? What's the enrollment? I still think you fixed the numbers. I think you called it low. I think whatever. I think it doesn't matter.
No.
You ran the numbers up. Whoever ran the numbers up. Do you know what 100 kids does to the budget? Can anybody tell me? It's $1 million. The first year he was here, we had $4 million of charter revenue. How much revenue have we made off of charters in the last 2 years besides zero? And I'm going to go through the warrant register. We're getting money back too. But at the end of the day, he come in here, there's $2.3 million back on the table, no charter revenue. He just gave me back $1 million. I want that other $3 fast, dude. Talk about that. All right, now off to the pleasant things. Thank you, whoever took the cash registers out of the lunchroom. Do you know what it's like to stand in line and be one of the kids that gets free and reduced lunch? And the other kids, you know what it's like to stand behind somebody at the grocery store that used to pull out food stamps and having to separate their stuff. Whoever decided to do this, whoever asked everyone to fill out a form, some of us don't qualify. That makes us fortunate. Others do not. But that right there restores dignity to every child in the school district. That's really important to me. Very important to me. Dr. Chamberlain. I'm the SPED parent, remember? I know about every way to make $1 off of SPED there is because I've seen everybody try to do it. SPED is underfunded to the tune of 75%. So even in the best times, SPED gets 25% of what they need. The rest of it comes out of the general fund. It's my job to make sure that there's compliance so we don't have excess bleed off over the 75%. And I appreciate the graciousness of the community that allows that 75% to be given to the people who are most vulnerable in our community. I very much appreciate that. But Ms. Chamberlain, I had the opportunity to visit a SPED room. For the first time in my life, I saw every SPED person, every SPED child, and every SPED aide in one room with Ms. Chamberlain playing a guitar. There were so many eligibilities in that room. You know what eligibilities are? I need speech language pathology. I have severe emotional issues. Use that for an excuse, that one's good. I have intellectual disabilities. I have severe medical needs. I have triggers. I have everything that's triggering me all the time. I have all these kids in one room, and everybody was calm. Everybody. That's community. And for the first time in a long time, I don't think you violated everybody's civil rights day one or day any. Write that one down. Oh, I think I have the best group fake smile photograph I have ever seen. The Kmart Family Photo Center, you know, we sit there. The staff development team, yeah, it looked real. It was so real. It looked real. Was it real?
There's 3.
Any of them. Yeah, tell me, Miss T. I'm not supposed to engage you. Call me to order. Okay. No. Not everybody knows. I'm not up here campaigning. I want somebody to take this so I don't have to get beat up every week. I'll go through withdrawals, but hey, people, our associations have a say-so in what type of training they'll have and what they find acceptable and was valid or not. So not only are they going, but they're participating in choosing what's critical to them. That's an unspoken. No one's sitting up here telling you what to do. I don't even know what you should do. It's just my job to make sure nobody steals your money. What else? I very much, going back to the SPED thing, there's a lot I'm not saying here. Listen carefully. I appreciate the support that the AV-SELPA team has given this district when it comes to special education. Training, staff development. The staff knows what to do. We just got to be able to give them the tools that they need to do it. No one's suggesting that we should teach anybody what to do, but the AV-SELPA is over there, and I think there's a region-wide presence sneaking up on you that I don't want to pop that bubble just yet. But I appreciate the work everyone is doing over there, especially helping people to understand IEPs and making it just a process instead of a riddle. What else do I have here? Pam, I'll get to you first. Pam, my concern, and you know what my concern is they're going to put this through here, and I know that you have worked for far more than a decade, knowing that you can't stop it, knowing that, and putting your personal feelings aside. The train runs right through your house. Okay, well, good. It runs through mine.
No, it doesn't.
Well, thank you. That was the point. That was a riddle. I made a movie. So, but the point is, you have put yourself in a point where I know this is going to happen. It's my job to mitigate it, to have the least effect on the community. So putting it underground was the best we could get, unless you have a well or some other thing. So I think they're going to figure that out. You still know that my concern is they got to daylight those things. I see the Wilshire Tunnel being that this machine that you're talking about, guys, is bigger than the width of this over there. It's huge, and it just chews up everything. There's all kinds of whatever's down there. My issue has always been the tailings that are going to be daylighted and the particulate in the air. That has always been my concern. And if it takes us to make I think I just told you, and it'll be on the internet. My concern about this is that our kids are not breathing those tailings. And when you're going to daylight it near High Desert School, I don't know how that can be avoided. I'm going to be very interested in their monitoring. There's not much else that I know about it, but I know about tailings and respiratory problems. Finally, I'm very disappointed. Mr. Sparks just gives me a much better go than tonight. And I was like, I didn't know what to do for the last 3 weeks. I didn't know what to think or say. And Mr. Sparks, you got to pick up the pace next time. But in all reality, I think Mr. Sparks gave us a couple indicators. Nobody sitting up here has a significant impact. I can pander to you and compliment you all day long. But you guys are the ones, you are bringing in the kids. And you just gave me $1 million back that I don't have to steal from some kid in San Bernardino who doesn't even know who I am. You all just gave me $1 million back. Okay, so the reason I'm pulling this, we already know the answer, but I think that there are some people who may be interested in this that are going to make a trip to Norwalk or already have or will. I'm going to zip through this. I hope somebody has a copy of this. Let's start on page 1. The second item there, that benefits specific children in our district that we require autism support. Or is that happening outside of our district?
Outside of our district.
Okay. Note that one. Let's go to page 6. AV Union High School District. You see there's two amounts there totaling $168,000. Is that a programmatic support, or are those the placement of children?
Those are the excess costs in case there are large students
Is that an annual amount? Is that the tail end, or is that a monthly amount?
Those are old bills that Emerald Valley Union High School was holding.
So at the end of the year, children that require placement in a placement that we aren't equipped to offer those services, that is the year-end total for a number of students. Thank you. Let's go to the next page, Behavioral Learning Center. I'm seeing a number of different totals there. My understanding is that those are supports for individual students, plural. When I when I vote the consent calendar, after asking all these questions, I'm going to abstain because my daughter is one of those students that's supported by this. Let's go to page 8. Down at the bottom there, California's Pacific Charter School. That appears to be a pass-through. Pass-through meaning the district gives the charter its revenue before the district receives its money. And if your reserve is low, sometimes you can't afford to do that. And LACO is not going to lend you the money to do pass-through on charters. This is a significant problem if your reserve levels are being squandered away on pet projects. You'll find that there are a number of charters in here, and these are pass-through amounts. Is it my understanding that a number starting with, on the next page, page 9 up at the top, the number that has a parentheses around it is actually a deduction from the pass-through amount because something happened, probably an enrollment decrease. Back in the old days, that enrollment decrease would have cost us an additional 2% of revenue. It takes quite a few kids at 1% to reach $4,000, by the way. We're almost done. Page 13. Department of Justice. Is this for employee fingerprinting? Is this some kind of filing for a Office of Administrative Hearings, Special Education, Civil Rights violation? That's better, thank you. Page 14. Edwards, Stevens, and Tucker, those are the charter attorneys, is that correct?
Yes.
I remember when these bills were $450,000 a year. This one seems to be about $6,800, which means that Ms. Patterson, Shea, is being supported in her review of charters by an attorney. Would that be accurate? Thank you. Let's go to page 16. Yes? Gaggle. Is this the annual fee?
Yes.
Is this in the rears or is this forward? So you've got the entire school year paid for on a system that finds kids who could be potentially in trouble.
Forgot to put it in.
Let's go to page 18. We have 2 entries for iLead Charter. One for the online system, one for hybrid. These are pass-through amounts as well.
For June and July.
This is a monthly thing that we pay them. This number, both of these numbers seem to be pretty significant. Those are back credits.
Yes.
I would assume that's an enrollment decrease.
No. Those are our costs that we hold back, so we don't have to invoice them for that December.
So there's nothing significantly wrong with iLead. I think I remember inviting them in here. Usually when I invite people to parties, I like them to respond to me. Okay, I'm noticing a great number of staff members. Some of these staff members, like the one on page 22, I won't call their name out, but it's my experience that those staff members go to other schools and actually are the instructor in conferences, like this one. They have significant experience. And I'm seeing a lot of conference attendance in here, which means that in addition to the in-house professional development days, people are participating in conferences all over, all the place, all the time, and a lot of staff are doing that. I like that very much. Page 26. Palmdale School District, excess cost, is this a monthly cost or is this the end of the year catch-up? I would suppose that this is the Ocotillo Autism Unit. That's just I see someone named Paula Chamberlain, that looks familiar to me, maybe I'll talk about that one in a minute. Let's go to page 28. Raptor Technology. Is this a monthly fee? That seems excessive for me being the only one that uses it. Hint, hint. Oh, by the way, I want to introduce another board member comment here. I walked up to the school, sorry, call me to order. I walked up to Meadowlark School. In addition to a buzzer, they had dark, some kind of something or other where I could not see in. And I thought, you know, if there's somebody trying to come into the school to harm kids and you're a staff member, come out, they can't see where you are. And I really thought that was cool. I thought that was very cool. And I see people taking steps. So, guys, I know that anybody, Brittany left, but she knows every time I come onto a campus, I'm pulling the Raptor system. I don't hide behind the color of my office with some badge or something. Use the Raptor system, guys. And God forbid something happens, you have to at least know. I don't want to live the rest of my life knowing that I didn't sign in to something that was really simple. That was really important. That was one of Larry King's things that he brought in just before he ran away from me. That is it, guys.
Any more board discussion on the warrant register? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, aye.
Pfalzgraf abstain. When I started with my service up here and prior to it, Fagan, Fulfoss, and Freeman used to be the attorney of record in everything except charter cases. I see them coming back on. They were not in the annual list of attorneys. Everybody out there that wants to know the budget, it hasn't been around much. I ask every year for all the not to exceed contracts to be posted. There are 2 attorneys on that we typically see. This is an addition. I notice that there's no not to exceed amount on this, so I would just like a brief explanation of what this is for and why we're bringing them in, and if there's some amount of objectivity that's involved, so we're not overlapping attorneys and depending on one and coming in after the fact. I'd like to hear a little bit about that as well. Would you be so good, it's not my direction, but I think I would have support here, to put that on the annual list of contracts, and at the end of the year, try to figure out how much we have used, and then carry that forward. Would it be a fair assumption by me to say if there had been an attorney involved in something that required some type of training or something like that, that we could turn to another firm that does no connection to anything that's happened and would be able to offer objective training to staff or address an issue or possibly even an investigation, that they're not biased by other previous work in the district? Would that be fair?
Yes.
Thank you for answering questions I already knew the answer to. Is everyone out there listening? Good. You're welcome. I have a question. Do you have any positions that you're purposely aging or that are hung up in HR as a means of cost savings? So you're actively recruiting for every open position there.
Yes.
When it comes to some of the positions that are being held, I notice that you are reposting positions over and over and over. And sometimes highly qualified candidates understand that. Are you tapping the one next to you? Understand that it's not a reflection on your capacities, but it's the idea that just because 40,000 other people live with Mr. Sahakian within a 1,000-foot square radius, or whatever you want to call it, in Pasadena, doesn't make you the inappropriate candidate. So there's no aging of positions. So nobody's going to come in here and tell me that I'm halting people being hired. I think Kelly's let us know that the job market's very rough. I have comments. I am very excited about this because finally we're not just turning our head to, oh yeah, the resource teacher has 46 people on their caseload. This is the first time I've seen this district take responsibility and back up the employees to say, for example, that the resource specialist shall have a caseload, no resource teacher will have a caseload in excess of 28 students. And what it says is to staff is, you don't have to pretend you're following the IEP. You don't have to sit with some aggressive parent in an IEP meeting and have the administrator that's not supporting you sit there and look out the window while you're getting chewed up by a parent. This is actually the district. The most important part about this is the district is providing guidelines that protect the validity of the system and the legitimacy of the system. And on the top, it gives a number of parameters of what to happen when the caseloads temporarily exceed this. I know for a fact that in the old CAC committee meetings in the SALPA, they would bring in a speaker, and the next thing you know, you got 25 people coming in saying, Ms. Van Ornum, I need to have an IEP, I need to have this and that. So there are times when people get excited and come in, and the district can't possibly keep up with the caseload. The important part here is, I hope that this has been talked over with the employee associations. I hope they don't have comments, because it gives the district availability to reach out with the temporary psychologists and the temporary care providers to take up the caseload, so we're not dumping staff into a position where they're not compliant when issues arise. I'm very, very happy about this. The district is finally taking responsibility at the top end for this kind of thing.